Now connecting your bass to the bass amplifier is going to be done using an instrument cable. And these are also commonly called 1/4 inch cables. So they have a 1/4 inch input. They most commonly will come with both ends straight like this. Now, if you have a bass that has an input that's on the front, or especially if it's on the bottom of the body, I really recommend getting what's called a right angle cable, which will have one side look like this. Now, the reason is that if you plug in a straight cable into the body like this, it becomes a bit of a potential danger that things can bang into this and potentially snap the cable right off in the input. Whereas if you have a right angle cable into the actual instrument, it's a little bit more flush with the body. The other thing is, if you run your cable up under your strap and around like this, it sort of tucks neatly behind, and if the cable ever gets pulled really hard, like you step on it, you get a little bit of support here from the end pin, so it's not going to rip the cable right out. Now connecting the other end to the amplifier is very simple. It just goes right into the front end that says input on the amplifier. And now let's have a closer look at the front end controls on the bass head as well as the back. So here we have the front end of the head for the Fender Rumble 150. So this is a 150 watt bass head that connects to a passive cabinet. Now, all the heads work basically the same way. I'll just show you some of the basic features on this. So we have our input, which is where the instrument cable goes in. Then there's a switch to lower the overall volume of the amp. This is a really great feature if you want to keep your amp settings a certain way, just be able to play quiet or practice quieter. You can just do it with one click of the switch. Then we have volume knob, and again, with all electric instruments, you want to make sure that this is down at 0 or very low when you plug in any instrument to an amplifier, so you don't get surprised by a big loud sound. Then moving over, we have an overdrive section. This is only unique for an amp this size, but we have an overdrive, which is we can push in, it will come on, and we have a gain, which is how much distortion you get, and then a blend, which gives how much is actually going into the main signal. Then moving on, we get into the equalization section. And what's great about that is you plug into your amplifiers like this, the power cables are all exactly the same as what you'd see on a desktop computer or a monitor. The next thing you have to know about is how to connect the head to the cap. It has 2 of these because we can power more than one cabinet at a time. Either one will do. If you're plugging into one cabinet, you only need to, it doesn't matter which one of these you plug into. Over here we have an effects send return loop. This is a bit more of an advanced function that allows you to send your bass signal out to be processed and then back into the amplifier, which you might use for something like reverb or delay or some kind of compression. Next to it is a nice feature for some of these smaller amps, which is an auxiliary in. These are RCA cables, which make it easy to connect to something like a smartphone or a tablet. On the back of the bass cabinet, these are newer, more modern. A common question I get asked about bass playing is, should I be playing with my fingers or slapping, or should I be using some kind of guitar pick or bass pick? It somewhat comes down to personal preference, but the common sounds you hear most often played on the electric bass guitar are played with your fingers. And the usual technique is alternating between your pointer finger and your middle finger, which allows you, if you're just using a single finger, there's a limit to how fast you can do a single stroke. Whereas if you have alternating fingers on multiple strings, it allows you to move back and forth a little more comfortably and cleanly. It really changes the sound of the strings, and it makes it a little more clicky and clunky sounding. I don't necessarily mean that in a bad way, but it just has a little bit more of a cluck, 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 cluck sound. I tend to only use a pick playing the bass if I'm playing rock, where I have to play a lot of really fast back and forth for a long time, like it can be very hard to keep that going with just the fingers if you're playing a song that's 5 minutes long.
Throughout the world, there are many different notation systems in music. In Western Europe and North America, we use a 12-tone system with the musical alphabet. To understand the 12-tone system, we first need to understand how we measure the distance between two notes. There are two main distances used in our system. They are tones and semitones. The easiest way to see a piano is made up of white and a bar between two black. A semitone in a black key, all scale. Common one is the major tone, semitone. C, there's no word of tone pattern on the pad keys in some. Melody is the part of songs that most people identify with. The harmonic most distinct chances are your harmonic. Simply put, to the harp. Rhythm is a word that has many.
Hi, and welcome to week 1 of bass lessons in the Music Coach program. We're going to get started on a great journey today playing the electric bass guitar. Now, you may have had some experience playing a regular 6-string guitar before, or maybe you've had no experience at all. But we're going to start by learning the basic fundamentals today that are going to help you become really, really solid on the bass. The bass is a great instrument. It usually has the role in a band of providing a lot of stability, both in terms of the rhythm and the harmony that goes underneath all the music. So it's a very powerful position inside of the band. Not often tons of fanfare and recognition, but it's extremely important. And whenever you play in a band where the bass is really solid and it's really working well, especially with the drums, it creates a real kind of magic. So to get started, we're going to talk a little bit about the parts of the instrument, and then how we where we put our fingers to make notes, and the names of the strings. So to start off with, like a regular guitar, we talk about the parts of it like a person. So there's the head of the instrument, the neck, and the body. Now, because this instrument is electric, it plugs into an amplifier, which I have sitting beside me. And there's going to be a separate video that just talks about amplifiers and cables and things like that, so that we don't have to spend our time in the lesson working on that. But if you're not sure of how to connect your bass to the amplifier, go check out that video. The bass has 4 strings, and they're the same names as the lowest 4 strings on a guitar. So if you played a guitar before, this will be easier to remember. They are E, is the biggest string, which is closest to your head. And the 1 string smaller is A. And the next string is D. And the last string is G. Now, if you're not sure about how to use the musical alphabet, check out some of the pre-course videos that explain how we use the alphabet in music. Now, on the bass, you're going to notice that there are some metal strips in the neck and some dots that are both on the top of the neck and in the front of the neck. Now, the frets divide up the neck and allow you to play notes by pushing down a string between 2 frets. And wherever you're pushing down, you want to push your fingers right in the middle, not right on the metal strip, but right in between. And the reason why they have dots is because they're numbered. When a string is played open, it's considered fret 0. And when we push down in the first fret, it's fret number 1, number 2, number 3, and so on. The dots are on the odd numbers, so 3, 5, 7, 9, and then there's a double dot at 12, which is an octave. And again, if you're not quite sure about how octaves work, in the pre-course video there's going to be some explanation of that. For this week's practice video, what you're going to work on is memorizing and being able to play all the strings. It might seem like a small task, but it's really important to know the name of the string that you're on all the time, and to be able to do it going both forwards and backwards. So I'm going to do it one time so you can see. E,
Now with your right hand, you can play the bass with a pick. The more traditional way to play it is with your fingers. And usually you're going to use your first two fingers. For now, you can even just use your pointer finger. So a common way to do it is to rest your thumb on the pickup that's closest to your body. And this provides some balance and a place of reference so that you can feel how far away your finger is from the pickup. So we just pluck it lightly. Because the instrument's electric, you don't need to pull very hard. And if your hands are a little smaller and reaching that far is difficult, you can just let your hand float. Like that. If you're ready for something a little more complicated, you can alternate. First finger, second finger, first finger, second finger, like that. All right, we'll see you in the practice video. You're now going to work on playing and saying the names of the strings going from the largest string to the smallest string. The string names are E, A, D, and G. Let's try doing that again, and make sure to say them out loud as you play them. E, A, D, and G. Now we're going to do it with the click track. Play each string as a whole note. So each string will get 4 clicks. 1, 2, ready, go. E, 2, 3, 4. A, 2, 3, 4. E, 2, 3, 4. G, 2, 3, 4. Now we're going to do the same thing with each string being a half note. So each string will get 2 clicks. 1, 2, ready, go. E, 2, A, 2, D, 2, G, 2. Let's try it again. 1, 2, ready, go. E, 2, A, 2, D, 2, G, 2. Now we're going to play the strings backwards using whole notes. 1, 2, ready, go. G, 2, 3, 4, E, 2, 3, 4, A, 2, 3, 4, E, 2, 3, 4. Let's try it again. 1, 2, ready, go. G, 2, 3, 4, D, 2, 3, 4, A, 2, 3, 4, E, 2, 3, 4. Now we're going to play them backwards as half notes. So 2 clicks for each string. 1, 2, ready, go. G, 2, D, 2, A, 2, E, 2. Now we're going to play the strings forwards and backwards as half notes. 1, 2, ready, go. E, 2, A, 2, E, 2, G, 2, G, 2, D, 2, A, 2, E, 2. Now we're going to play the notes forwards as quarter notes. So each string will get 1 click. And remember, keep saying the strings out loud as you play them. 1, 2, ready, go. E, A, D, G. 1, 2, ready, go. E, A, D, G. 1, 2, ready, go. E, A, two, ready, go. G, D, A, E. 1, 2, ready, go. G, D, A, E. 1, 2, ready, go. G, D, A, E. Now let's play them forwards and backwards as quarter notes. 1, 2, ready,